Hello, people, and we have some weekend Bitcoin news for you, or crypto news for you. Blackrock and Larry Fink now backs the Ethereum ETF, and of course, they want to make money from it, and they think it actually has value. And that's going to go a long way towards tokenization. Tokenization is probably their overall strategy because they want to tokenize all assets so BlackRock can control them. But what BlackRock wants, BlackRock gets because according to all of you, they're part of this giant thing called the cabal. And if they want something, they can get it. So basically, like he says, I see value in having Ethereum ETF. Obviously, they'll see value in having every crypto ETF as long as they can get customers and they can make money from it. These are just stepping stones towards tokenization. I really believe this is where we're going to be going. Tokenization was going to happen with or without BlackRock, but with BlackRock supporting it, it's probably going to happen a lot faster. A lot of you think this is actually control, but I think this was inevitable because it's easy to move assets around if you tokenize them, and it opens up a lot of new opportunities. Think about it, you might not be able to buy an entire Manhattan apartment, but you can own a token that entitles you to 1/100th of a Manhattan apartment. You know, those Manhattan apartments might be $10 million. You can't afford $10 million, but you can afford $100,000. And this is where it's actually going to be very, very interesting and very, very lucrative for investment businesses because it opens up large investments to smaller investors. And there's a new market that's completely been untapped, and it makes it much easier to trade certain assets. So they want to list an Ethereum ETF from BlackRock because they know that Grayscale has applied for one, and they do not want to be left out because BlackRock wants a part in anything that makes profit. So RWAs is going to be incredibly big, but a lot of it is going to be happening on Ethereum. I think the smaller blockchains like Maple Finance, Goldfinch will probably get a part of it too, the ones that are specifically made for RWAs. One I think that kind of gets lost is like Proppy. They've been around for a while. Not really sure how they're doing the tokenization thing. Haven't really heard too much from them in the last couple of years, but they've been around for a while, and I know they have a couple of partnerships on the website. So those are the kind of coins that you should actually be looking towards. I mean, RWA is basically asset tokenization. And even though Ethereum is going to be the one getting an ETF, it's not like all the business will be going towards Ethereum. We know that Ethereum is very, very slow. And people might be looking for other solutions as well, or maybe even build their solutions based on other technology. So that's going to be extremely interesting to see how this works out. I also think that buying some Ether right now is probably a decent idea. There was a run up to the Bitcoin ETF that was caused by the ETF, obviously, the anticipation of the ETF. And right now it seems like there is anticipation for the Ethereum ETF that's most likely going to come in May. Because remember, all these ETFs are filed on the same premise, even though if the BlackRock acceptance deadline would actually be, in August, September, the first deadline for Ethereum is actually in May. And if they want to approve BlackRock's, they're probably going to have to approve the rest of them as well because they're going to be filed under the exact same circumstances. And since they let a Bitcoin ETF through, they've basically opened up the floodgates for all the other ETFs. And because Ethereum, like Bitcoin, has a futures ETF, there is no reason not to let an Ethereum ETF through. And the SEC has not wanted to call Ethereum a security, so I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. It seems like a lot of the analysts and a lot of the biggest investment managers do believe that Ethereum ETF is coming. And some of you might be saying, oh, everyone expects it, so they're going to not approve it. Well, that didn't prove true for the Bitcoin ETF, and I doubt it's going to prove true for the Ethereum ETF. But I think we'll know a couple of weeks or a couple of months in advance if they're going to actually accept the ETF or not, because the SEC, like all government agencies, does telegraph these things out. In other news, Vanguard is a complete hypocrite. No surprise there. Anti-crypto army people are obviously all hypocrites. So they're one of the ones as part of this, I guess, anti-crypto alliance with Citi, Merrill Lynch, Edward Jones, and UBS. But they are the most staunch ones because the others actually have ETFs open for their high-value customers or the customers that have a lot of money with them or sophisticated customers. They're the only ones that are like, nope, we're not doing it all. But it's not like Vanguard itself does not have exposure to Bitcoin. They might not have Bitcoin directly, but they are one of MicroStrategy's largest holders. And you know that MicroStrategy's entire net worth is basically based around how much Bitcoin it owns. The amount of Bitcoin that MicroStrategy owns is actually worth more than the company, and the price of MicroStrategy stock goes essentially up and down with Bitcoin. Make no mistake, if a company buys MicroStrategy stock, they are essentially buying Bitcoin because that's its entire net worth. The other part of the company isn't worth very much at all. And Vanguard itself owns and manages a large stake in MSTR. They hold over 1.126 million MSTR shares as of September 2023, making it the second largest institutional holder in the company with 8.24% ownership. I don't know who the largest one is. It might be Blackrock or something. So, of course, it's also part of the portfolio of several of Vanguard's mutual funds. So you can have exposure to Bitcoin, just not the ETF, which makes this whole spiel from them very hypocritical. As you can see, top institutional holders is actually not BlackRock from MicroStrategy. It is Vanguard Group. BlackRock's actually number 3. They actually hold more than BlackRock Fidelity of MicroStrategy than any other company. Only Capital International Investors, CII, owns more than them. So there's Bitcoin for me, but not for you. Complete and utter hypocrites. And of course, Vanguard is actually losing customers over this. Several people have already closed their accounts at Vanguard. Hedera and Algorand have a partnership. What is this partnership? They're going to develop a decentralized wallet recovery system. Not really sure how this is going to do this, but they're going to do this. But it would be very helpful for people that have lost their mnemonic code or private keys and stuff. This could be pretty big, and I know many people do lose that stuff. So blockchain ecosystems Hedera and Algorand collaborated on a new alliance and open source protocol to troubleshoot the need for decentralized recovery for digital assets. Major players from within Hedera and Algorand ecosystems, including HBAR Foundation and Decentralized Algorand Foundation, announced the launch of a new alliance called DREC Alliance on Jan 11th to build a decentralized recovery system for digital assets. The alliance was unveiled at the crypto finance conference in St. Mortis by Lehman Beard, the co-founder of Hedera, and John Woods, chief CTO for the Algorand Foundation. Now, I think this is good for both. If they can actually pull this off, I think this product will be in high demand because many people do lose their mnemonic code and they can't actually get it back. So they encourage every blockchain and industry to create standards for open source code to bring safety and promise to Web3 without the complexity. All blockchains need to work together to create a compatible standard across all wallet software on blockchains. That's true. That would help a lot with interoperability as well. But if they want to develop a decentralized wallet recovery system, that is definitely going to be very, very popular with a lot of crypto people, especially with a lot of new crypto people just coming into the space, because many people will forget those things, will forget to write it down, and they will lose their money because of that. So they also say seamless user experience is core to any great product. We need to maximize ease of use and minimize risks associated with self-sovereignty. Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be risk when you're basically custodying your own funds, and this is obviously some of them. If there was a backup method, that would be great. Of course, there's going to be some danger because people could go use the backup method to get the private keys, and that's not something you actually want. So the SEC also has official statements on the hack and the fake tweet. And Gary Gensler said someone hacked in, tweeted 2 tweets, liked a couple of other tweets, but deleted one of the 2 tweets and didn't delete the other one. But there was no evidence that any of the other SEC devices were compromised. That part I can believe in because they just hacked their X account, and the X account isn't actually related to any of the other SEC servers. It's essentially X or Twitter. But Congress isn't having any of it. They are pressing and demanding an investigation, and I really, really hope they get the investigation because I still believe that even though it was a SIM swap, it could have been someone within the SEC, and we want to unveil any of the SEC's corruption as we can, prove that they're not an effective legislator or regulator, and hopefully limit their credibility a little bit in the upcoming lawsuits against Coinbase and Binance and even against Ripple. By the way, that Ripple case is going to last quite a bit longer than we thought. There's a couple of delays there, and it's probably not going to get resolved until at least the middle of the year, which would be the first possible date for a XRP ETF to be submitted. And there's an 8-month delay between submission and approval. So early next year, I think, would be the earliest that an XRP ETF could get approved if anyone actually files one. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.